if you fake your personality, you're not real, okay? It's a lie. And so therefore you're living a lie and you're not happy with who you are. But if you believe that you are happy, if you believe that you are confident, you are then showcasing that in a very natural way that ultimately you are in fact happy.
Fake it till you make it. Okay.
Mhm.
And I partially agree with it. But I'll tell you why. Like I'm just curious about like your thoughts. What do you think? Should people fake it until they make it?
Personally, I don't agree.
Okay.
And this comes down to my own values. I'm incredibly transparent, and so I feel that any form of faking is manipulative and misleading to others, and you shouldn't do it because it paints a very poor picture of expectations for others, and that leads people into a position where they question themselves and their life. And so I hate the term "fake it until you make it." It's certainly not a principle I live by. However, Alec, I would love to hear your thoughts.
Well, actually, I think you should fake it until you make it. I think you should fake that you should feel rich even when you're poor. You should fake the confidence. You should fake the mindset. You should live like you are rich on the inside. Okay? You should have that confidence and you should have that happiness that you think a rich person has. And so I think a lot of the qualities that a rich person has, right, that has made it in your mind, you should have them from the very beginning. I've been very broke, but I have never been poor in my soul. Like I've always knew, like I will make it. And so even the days that I didn't have the confidence, that I didn't have a good body, that I honestly was a little bit of a nerd, right? I still fake the confidence. Like, don't think that I was confident. No, I was definitely faking it. And I was faking so many traits because in my mind, I was rich. In my mind, I knew I was going to be rich. And so, in that sense of the fake it until you make it, I think you should fake a lot of the stuff. I think you should believe deep inside, like 10 years before you become rich, you should believe that you're already rich. You should walk
Mm,
in every room like you are rich. You should
mm,
have the mindset of every rich person. And if you don't have it, because naturally it's going to be very contrasting for you, right? You're going to, but I'm not. That's why you should fake it. Because
mm,
if you don't get accustomed to having that attitude in life, it will be actually really hard for you to even become rich at any point, right? Because if you're like, well, but my situation is so bad, well, that's it. Like you just need to fake the confidence, you need to fake the attitude. And then the one thing that you should not fake is working as you're always broke. Like still to this day, we put a lot of hard work in our business. And right, I think even if we're like making 10 times the amount we're making, we're still going to put a lot of hard work. Okay? But when you're starting and you don't have anything and you're feeling poor inside, that can be very consuming. And the only way for you to break out of it is if you fake it.
mm. I so for me, Alec, and I love your perspective behind it. I really do. What I dislike is the terminology "fake it till you make it," because in my understanding, it puts people in a position of untruthfulness and lying, right? And so there there was a phrase, and this was so one phrase that I learned from Chris Do, who's somebody who I look up to as a mentor, is rather than fake it till you make it, is to believe it until you achieve it. And so belief is a much more user friendly term, you could say, behind this, that rather than being untruthful, you are having this belief in yourself. And so, absolutely, when you mentioned your perspective around, having the confidence in yourself and not acting like somebody who's poor, but acting with a rich mindset, like you do not need to be rich in order to have a rich personality. in order to believe that you are somebody who can attract good things into your life. Because, this is the difference. Like, if you fake your personality, you're not real, okay? It's a lie. And so, therefore, you're living a lie and you're not happy with who you are. But if you believe that you are happy, if you believe that you are confident, you are then showcasing that in a very natural way that ultimately you are, in fact, happy. And so, rather than fake it till you make it, believe it until you achieve it.
I don't know about that one though, because I love the phrase and it sounds really good. And I think it's
Mm.
both of them can be combined, because I can believe that I'm confident, but if I don't act like it, if I don't act like a confident person, people will see through it. So eventually, belief does not always translate into action, right? And
That's true,
so
but you
you
need the
see.
belief first. You need the belief first, because equally, as you said, if you fake it, that also in its sense is not accurate. So like, when you're faking it, you yourself don't actually believe it. So you can put on a front, you can put on a facade, but inside you're dying, right?
But if you do it
Whereas
for
when you
long
believe
enough,
it, inside you feel at peace with yourself, and so you take the action and it comes naturally.
but if you do it for long enough, it actually becomes true. And I say this from my own experience. I used to not necessarily have the confidence to walk into rooms in which I knew that there was men who are way more successful than me. And the only way for me to do it actually is like, say like, I will act like it. I could not be confident, but I would act like I am. And so the moment I did, I noticed things started changing in my life, because people are like, man, this guy's confident. Like he must be at a higher level. He must be higher in the hierarchy. And so for me, I was like, well, actually, I am enjoying now being confident. So I would rather be confident. I would rather be less shy. I would rather walk with my shoulders back. I would rather, be the guy who smiles. And so, on many occasions, I think sometimes you need to start pushing yourself out of your comfort zone and experimenting with who you are. If it doesn't represent you, then you need to experiment with who you are. And sometimes you need to, force yourself almost to be that person that you aspire to be. Because if I didn't act like it, I would have never become a confident person.
Mm. I'm not sure that that falls into faking it, though. This is more of an element of getting outside your comfort zone and being
Acting as if.
comfortable to take risks. And so that's how I kind of see it. But like, I do understand, and I can see where you're coming from. That like in that first few
Yeah.
tries, it does feel like you're faking it because you're in your practice round. But
Yeah.
in that similar mindset, I do kind of like, in my mind, I'm like, okay, but then, belief in a similar way, at least if you're like, okay, I believe that I have the ability to get better at this. And so when I'm trying to go in a room with all of these people who are in a more powerful position than me, I say, okay, I believe that I am as good as them. I believe that I can speak in a way that impresses them. And so now I'm going to put it to the test. I'm probably going to fall over a few times, but as long as I believe it and I keep doing it, I get better at it.
Yeah. And this is why I think you need both. I think you need the belief, and then you need to act as if. So if we
Need to
want to
act.
avoid the word fake,
Yeah,
fake it,
just
right?
like
You
that
need to
word.
act as if. You need to first believe it, then act as if. And so there we go. We discovered the new formula, okay? Like you need to
Act
first
it to
believe it, then
get
you
it.
act as if until you made it. That's it.